Hi guys, this is Drug Pasta here, and I wanted to welcome you all to my channel. Some of you might remember the videos I was making a few years ago. I ended up taking them all down, but we're getting the channel back up and going. If you're new here, what this channel is the website erowid.org. All the information you could ever need about any substance that you were wanting to try, wanting to learn about, the history, you name it. They also have, for each substance, an experience vault where people write down what they experienced when they tried it, given their take on it, whether it be a positive or a negative experience. What we do here is we read those experiences for you and put them here on YouTube. So, without further ado, the name of this experience is Riding the White Pony. The substance taken was cocaine. Submitted by Jay. The dose, repeated, insufflated, cocaine, powder crystals. Body weight, 160 pounds. A group of friends and I had been contemplating trying cocaine for some time. Once the talk of it became too exciting, we finally arranged the purchase of 4 grams from a local source. The week before we actually tried the drug, I did a lot of heavy-duty research online. I learned everything I ever wanted to know about where cocaine came from, what it did to the body, how I would feel the next day. I also spent a lot of time talking to people who had already tried the drug as well as reading personal accounts of coke usage. I felt like I had really done my homework on the matter, and on top of that, I was really excited to try it. Overwhelmingly, I read or heard of people having amazing experiences on coke. Nearly everyone spoke a feeling of euphoric bliss, an increased libido, the urge to talk. I was ready to try the drug and experience it for myself and all the wonders I had been researching. On Saturday, a group of friends and I made our way to a neutral location to ride the white pony all night long. We dumped the white rocks onto a mirror and cut it with a razor until we had the perfect powder consistency. I cut a line, rolled a $20 bill, and snorted. It was so smooth. I expected the first time to be less comfortable than it turned out to be. I waited for everyone else to get a line, and then we went around for the second nostril. About 15 minutes or so later, I started to feel really good. I was extremely happy, loving, and carefree. I felt like $1,000,000. But it was nothing like I had expected. The whole time I was waiting for the one distinct moment when I would feel a rush of euphoria wash over my body. That never happened. Instead, it just kind of manifested itself in the form of extreme comfortability with the people I was with. Time did not progress as it usually does. That was probably one of the most bizarre aspects of the drug. The whole night just seemed to fly by, yet we did so much. We talked for hours, walked for hours, and all in all just enjoyed each other's company all night long. There was no option of sleep. Coke gets me so hyped up that I literally cannot sit still. And even when I do, my body will continue to maintain an elevated heart rate. It was like exercising without moving my body. There was also absolutely no desire for food. I was on the drug for 8 hours total and did not eat for 12 hours after my last line. But as expected, the drug started to wear off about an hour or so after the last line. I still felt good, no signs of depression or the need, not want, to do more. Unfortunately, everyone else was beginning to come down. Some were really irritable, and others just seemed down. Indirectly, this made me feel a bit depressed, so we decided to do some more lines. After this, the happy feelings came back and everyone was back to talking and having a great time. We continued snorting until we had at least 200 milligrams. At some point within this large time frame, I started to get super paranoid, but because I knew to expect it, I could somewhat disregard the feelings. At this point, I started feeling like I was enjoying the lines a lot more than everyone else, and in my head, I thought everyone was staring at me and thinking what a big cokehead I was. I couldn't stop looking around the room at everybody to make sure they weren't glaring at me. This was very strange to me, because I am usually such a calm person, but all of a sudden I became so paranoid and my palms started sweating and I couldn't stop moving my feet. Another side effect was extreme dry mouth. I found that I was constantly sniffing, which caused me to swallow uncontrollably. I couldn't stop swallowing to save my life, and water wasn't really working. So in my current state, I decided to swallow lubricant, the edible kind of course, and amazingly, It worked like a charm. It coated my throat and tongue and kept the uncomfortable dry mouth at bay. I would recommend chewing gum, although alone, it does not work as well as with lubricant. All in all, I did not suffer from post cocaine usage depression, nor did I feel that bad in the morning. But then again, I hadn't slept a wink. My heart rate was still elevated in the morning when I tried to go to sleep. Eventually, I slept, but not for long and with lots of startling awakenings from the slightest sound, residual paranoia. Another thing I did not feel was the urge to do another line. I can honestly say that I will never have to do cocaine again. Whether or not I want to is a totally different story. I would offer the following advice to all those contemplating using coke. It is a very powerful drug, but nothing is more powerful than one's own willpower. Know that the drug is not physically addictive, rather it is very psychologically addictive. So be very careful and do not misinterpret the desire to do more coke as a need for it. It is very possible to do coke once or often and never form a dependency on the drug. One just has to be extremely careful with what one is dealing with. Cocaine is not an escape from the mundane aspects to everyday life. I implore people not to use this drug if they are depressed or trying to hide from problems, which will only perpetrate themselves into an even larger and more dangerous ordeal. But if they are relatively stable and interested in trying something that will make them feel like a king or a queen, I suggest cocaine. The after effects seem relatively small compared to the euphoria I felt while on the drug. Just remember, treat cocaine and all drugs with the respect they deserve. And that experience year was from 2002, gender female, and the article was published November 12th of 2004. Well, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Sorry this one's a little bit choppy. Got to get back into the groove of things. But other than that, stay tuned for more, and I appreciate it again. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.